Hello everybody, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going over how to multiply radicals. So first of all, let's go over some terminology. Remember that a radical expression just has a square root. So for example, a times the square root of b would be a radical expression. The number to the left of the square root, we call that the coefficient, a, and the number inside the square root, we call that the radicand, b. So just some terminology I'm going to be using for this video to make sure you understand what's going on. So if you have two radicals, the square root of a times the square root of b, without any coefficients written, then in order to multiply them, all you have to do is just take the square root of a times b. So as an example here, let's say you have the square root of 6 times the square root of 2. So 6 times 2 gives you 12. So this is actually equal to the square root of 12. So we should also simplify the solution as well. So remember from the video where I explained how to do that, is that you have to look for the highest perfect square that goes into 12. So in this case, that's going to be 4. So the square root of 12 is going to be equal to the square root of 4 times 3, which is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. And then of course, the square root of 4 gives you 2. So the solution is going to be 2 root 3. So root 6 times root 2 equals 2 times the square root of 3. Now this example did not have any coefficients, but what if there are some coefficients? So what do you do with those? So more generally here, this is what you do with those. So let's say the coefficients are a and c, then you just multiply them together like this. And then the radicands, suppose that they're b and d, you multiply them together like this. So let's see an example of how to multiply radicals when we're dealing with coefficients. So we're going to multiply these two radical expressions, 5 times root 10 times 2 times root 2. So remember that the coefficients here are 5 and 2, and the radicands are 10 and 2, okay? So we're going to multiply the coefficients together first, and then the radicands. So then we group them together first, okay? So we group the coefficients together, the radicands together. Then we know that 5 times 2 gives you 10, 10 times 2 gives you 20. And then we should simplify this expression as well. So we're looking for the highest perfect square that goes into 20, and once again that is 4. So we're going to rewrite 20 as 4 times 5 and bring down the 10 along with that. Then we know that the square root of 4 here is going to be 2. So now all of a sudden the 4 goes from a radicand to a 2 being a coefficient. Okay, so we're going to put that in yellow because now that is a coefficient. And then of course we bring down the 5 and then we bring down the 10 as well. Next, what we do is we multiply the coefficients. So 10 times 2 gives us 20. So 20 root 5 is our solution. So when you're dealing with the coefficients, all you have to do is just multiply those together, and then you multiply the radicands together, and then you simplify just like we normally do for radical expressions.